Today, I am joined by one of the finest pair of siblings in modern MMA, Chris Daukaus and Kyle Daukaus, the UFC heavyweight and middleweight, respectively. Boys, great to sit down and chat. How are things with you today?
Everything's good. Thanks for having us on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, Kyle, we've previously connected, but Chris, I've never had the pleasure of speaking. How are things in Philly?
Everything's going good. Finishing up camp. Really can't complain about much. So, really happy with the way that this camp's going.
Well, let's talk first and foremost about the most recent history of the Daukaus family with the Darce Knight and the most recent win over Jamie Pickett. Is that a nickname that you've had prior to this fight? Because it just seems like it kind of came out of nowhere.
Nah, people joked about it a bunch of times. People have kind of said it, and I forget when it was, but a couple of my buddies said that I should push for it. But that was back before I got signed, I believe. So, and then I was in the trying to push for it, but I saw Tony Ferguson had it, so then I was like, might not be able to work with that one. But I decided to try to give it a chance at that last fight.
You're 2 weight classes above, but I wouldn't want to pick a fight with T Ferg.
No, I'm not. Even if I am 2 classes above him, yeah.
Now we're on the subject of nicknames. I'll ask the difficult questions first. Chris, favorite nickname in the UFC right now?
Favorite nickname in the UFC. I like Angela Overkill Hill. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's good. And then Volkov is the Drago. So that works for me.
Yeah. Kyle, what about you? What good nicknames come to mind?
I don't know. I guess I like Anderson Silva as a spider, but I mean, that's all right. It's pretty basic. A lot of the guys have basic ones, but they work.
Yeah, I like them. I don't know about you, but I kind of like I prefer the ones where they've got a little bit of personal history to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot better. They're definitely a lot better. They have better meaning.
Yeah, 100%. Kyle, I'd just like to pick up on the last fight, because the last time we spoke, you talked about how, you were 1-2 in the promotion without the Holland win, and that you felt like you kind of needed this win to prove to people that you belong. I guess what I want to ask is, how happy are you with the way things went in that first round finish?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better, obviously, unless I finished the fight earlier. But yeah, I mean, I was dominant. It was exciting. It was good to get out there and just get that experience. You obviously get experience with every single fight that you have, so it's always good to get in there, kind of get your feet wet, get the win, and kind of just look forward to what's ahead.
Is there something specific with you and your? I know you've got a lot of Bravo chokes and a lot of Darce chokes on your record. Is there something specific about that submission that you feel like you have an advantage over, whether it be physical or mental, that a reason why you can get so many?
I think it's more physical, just because of the way I'm built. I have long, kind of thin arms, so I can kind of get into those head and arm chokes or Darce chokes or whatever, and have good squeezing ability, and just more so for the Darce choke, it's kind of just painful for most guys. Occasionally it does kind of catch a choke, but a lot of guys can fight out of it because it's painful. But yeah, my thin bones and thin arms kind of help out with the pain in the chokes.
Do you guys train together a lot? Do you? I don't presume sparring, but will you roll? Will you do jiu-jitsu rounds or anything like that? How much do you actually train together?
All the time. We're number one training partners. We spar here and there. When I'm getting ready for a fight, he'll be, if I'm doing getting ready for 5-5s, he'll be one of the rounds and stuff like that. And same thing with the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He's the number one guy that I try and go with.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to ask as well, Chris, because we've got your fight coming up next Saturday against Curtis Blaydes. Can I ask first and foremost, is this kind of semi-short notice?
I'd say a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I mean, I have a full camp and all that. If it was any shorter, any closer to the Derek Lewis fight, I would consider that extremely short notice. But I was comfortable with this date. I was comfortable with everything that the UFC was offering, so I was happy to take the fight.
What are your opinions on the style matchup? It's quite a contrast from the last fight against Lewis. What are your opinions on Blaydes as an opponent?
In my opinion, he's the best wrestler in the heavyweight division. He's got the most takedowns in a fight. I think he's got the most takedowns in heavyweight history. So he's he's definitely cemented himself in the UFC history books. And I really think that it's a really good test for me. You know, a lot of people have been calling out my ground game and saying, you know, how am I going to be, you know, when I get pressured against the cage or if I get taken down. So, you know, who better to test yourself against than Curtis Blaydes?
I saw that. I know you were the favorite going into the Lewis fight. I think you were the favorite going into all of the previous UFC fights, and now you're the underdog against Blaydes. Is that a sign of perhaps the fickle nature of MMA fans? Perhaps
that's MMA, man. That's MMA. That's Vegas betting odds. And I'm totally fine with that. Whether I'm the favorite or not, I generally think that I'm the underdog going in there. New to the promotion, newer to the promotion, fighting some of the legends of the sport and the legends of the division. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
Of course. I want to ask as well, and this is something that me and Kyle touched on a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago when we talked. Chris, how important is it for you? I know how close you and Kyle are, and I guess how important is it for you to be going into battle with your brother by your side?
It's everything, really. You know, he's it's that calming. It's that person who's there to help you get through everything during fight week and in the fight. Because it's not just another person, you know, it's a person who obviously does it, who's going to go through everything with you, who's been through everything that you're experiencing in the cage. So yeah, it's really good and it means the world.
Do you have any other siblings, or is it just you two?
We have a younger sister and a younger brother, but they're like, my sister is 16, and then our brother, his birthday is today, so he is 13. 14.
What's his name?
Mateo, and then Magdalena. Those are our brother and sister.
Should we say a 3, 2, 1? Happy birthday, Mateo!
Happy birthday, brother!
It's a funny you mentioned that, Chris, because I'm actually the eldest of 4. I've got three younger siblings, and I guess what I want to ask is, what is it like when Kyle makes that walk and he's baby bro, if you like, he's the one who you've seen grow up? What's that like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking. If you ask either one of us, I'm definitely the one that gets more nervous, but it's been something that I've been working on, and what I've really come to terms with and found is that I've just seen how hard he works and seen the type of hard work and dedication and discipline that he's put into his fight camps, and that's why I want him to win so bad. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so it's definitely more nerve-wracking for me to watch him fight than me actually fight.
Kyle, I checked the dates, and I think in between your 2 UFC debuts, there was about a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I forget. I made it. I was in June, I believe.
Yeah,
and then he might have been like the end of July or August or something.
Yeah, I think he was the August, first week in August, Chris. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Would that be fair to say that you guys are kind of making this journey together? You've started so close together, and then you kind of ascending up these ranks of your respective divisions together.
Yeah, I think it's something that's kind of special in a way. We always kind of envisioned ourselves in the UFC. It was just a matter of time until we got there. But with us being so close, like signed so close together, it kind of makes it that much better. It just makes it that much better just to see the journey and just to experience it together.
Did you guys both come through the Cage Fury scene? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? Is that kind of the biggest? Is that the biggest league in kind of the East Coast, kind of Philadelphia area?
Yes, I would say so. I think it's East Coast is CFFC, and then like Midwest is like LFA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, CFFC is probably the biggest regional East Coast promotion that's around right now.
I know we have Daniel Gracie's team down in Philly, the likes of Sean Brady, Pat Sabatini, Jeremiah Wells. Do you guys ever train with them at all? Ever cross paths with those guys?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, not really. We're all local, and some of us train at the same. We go a couple of us go to the same strength and conditioning coach. That's kind of it. We don't really cross train that much.
What did you just say then, Chris? Did you just say something that the camera seemed, the volume seemed to cut out at the end of your sentence?
No, I was just letting him go. Yeah, because he gave the same answer that I was going to give.
Oh, I thought you said good job.
Nah.
current right now, if we exclude the Daukaus brothers, who are the top 5 pound for pound fighters from Philly? Who comes to mind?
You can go first. Yeah, we'll go first.
Yeah, I mean, the top 5 pound for pound is just everyone who's been there. So obviously, without us, it would be Eddie Alvarez. I mean, but he's not really fighting in the UFC anymore. So Paul's kind of on his way out. Paul Felder's on his way out. So then, yeah, it would just be the rest of the guys in the Daniel Gracie team. So like Sean Brady, Pat Sabatini, Andre Petrosky, those guys, Jeremiah Wells. If I'm forgetting anybody else, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it besides us. So
would it be fair to say that Eddie was kind of one of the pioneers of Philadelphia MMA? Because who else is kind of from your area? Just off the top of my head, I'm struggling to recall anyone in particular. Who else comes to mind as kind of Philly MMA OGs, if you like?
Well, you got Eddie Alvarez, and then Zach Makovsky. He was a Bellator champ and all that. He's from the area. But other than that, really nobody who's truly fought on the world stage. You have guys who were fighting on local promotions, and then when like Bellator came around, or I think like Bodog and stuff like that, when that was around, that they fought on that. But as far as world champions and people who've traveled the world and fought in Japan, I would say it was Eddie and Zach Makovsky.
Perfect. What I've done is as well, guys, I've compiled a little quick exercise we can do where I'm going to say who's more likely to, and then I will read out the statement, and you guys have got to see if there's any agree or disagreement. So, are you ready?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. First and foremost, this is a question that I've been able to ask some guys from the East Coast in Calvin Cater and Rob Font. Who is more likely of Chris or Kyle Daukaus to turn up to training without their boxing gloves?
Kyle. I'll say Kyle.
Probably. Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah, I'll say Kyle. Yeah.
Who is more likely out of Chris or Kyle to get lost in their own hometown?
Probably
Kyle.
me. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This isn't going well so far, Kyle.
Definitely not.
Who is more likely to accidentally pull a little bit too much on a shot and accidentally rock someone or perhaps drop someone in sparring?
I'll say me. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
me.
Is that a function of your perhaps exercise and being a heavyweight though?
Yeah, that's all that is. That's just me being a big brute heavyweight and letting some punches and kicks fly harder than I realized.
Who is more likely? This is a good one. Who is more likely to recreate the Chris Weidman dad and this is still my boy moment for one of you for their brother?
I'd probably say I would.
Yeah, definitely him. Yeah.
Who is more likely to retire first?
I'll say me. I'm older. I'll say me. I'm older by 3.5 years, so I got a little bit more miles on me. So yeah, definitely me. Plus, I'm fighting heavyweight. So
who is more likely to go into some kind of coaching role after their MMA career ends?
Probably me. I would say me. I mean,
yeah.
Come on, we need a little bit of disagreement. This has been too polite.
Yeah. So I mean, we both. Yeah.
Gym, so I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like what he was saying, we both coach like the amateur guys. So when we corner the amateur guys, Kyle teaches classes at the gym, so he's a little bit more in depth into that realm. So he's going to be the one for that one.
Yeah. Who would be more likely to try and physically assault the most hated man in mixed martial arts in Colby, Covington? Should you run into him?
I'll say Kyle.
I mean, I like him. I don't know. Yeah, I like him. So, hey, I
got no problem with him. Yeah,
it's Chris. I don't see why Chris wouldn't attack him either.
Yeah, I got no problem with him. His persona, it might suck here and there. It might be dumb. He says some stupid shit, but I generally I think that he's an okay guy. He's a good guy, but he might say some stupid shit.
Who is more likely to fight Jake Paul in boxing?
Oh, Kyle.
Well,
Kyle.
Attitude-wise, me, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if there's enough money to do that.
Do you think how do you think the Jake Paul thing ends? Because he's probably going to fight people up until, you know, the people he can beat, the likes of someone on the back end of his career like Tyron Woodley. But where do you think it actually ends? Just out of interest.
I don't know. That's tough. I mean, honestly, I could see him taking a fight in the UFC, then just doing that just to do it. But again, it depends on how, I think, like, low he can get his weight or something. Like, I saw Dana's, they were saying he was talking to his brother or something that he might be able to make 170 or something like that, or I don't know, whatnot. But if he wants to fight 85, I'm more than welcome. Hey, I'm here.
Let's think of a couple more. Who is more likely to fight outside of the US first?
Probably Chris. Yeah. I hate flying. I don't want to leave the country either. So,
well, technically, you'd have to go to corner him anyway.
It's true.
Yeah, definitely me.
We've got a big card coming up tomorrow. It's probably the biggest card in UK history tomorrow. Chris, I'm sure you'll have your eye on the main event.
Always.
Who do you have in that fight, by the way? I'll ask both of you for your predictions, but Volkov, Aspinall, who do you see?
So I think it depends on the type of Volkov who comes out. No disrespect to Aspinall. Aspinall, I think, is a really big guy, or super athletic. He's extremely talented. But if the Volkov who stopped over him comes out, I think Aspinall is going to have a really hard time getting in on him and landing shots. But if Tom Aspinall can, keep doing what he's doing and looks the way he's looked in his past fights, he can run through Volkov. He can run through a lot of people in the heavyweight division.
Kyle, who'd you have in that fight?
I do like Volkov in that fight. I think it's maybe just a little too much pressure as of right now, like in his career, to fight in his home, and I think like in his hometown or whatever. But I think that might get to him. So depending on how he reacts to that, I mean, it could be hit or miss. I mean, he could use it, and he could be flawless in there, or he can use it and it could be the worst thing for him, and he can just fold under the pressure. But I know a guy like Volkov isn't going to worry about pressure or anything like that. But I think Volkov will beat him, but it just depends on how.
Yeah, we also have a very big star on tomorrow's bill, in the guy making his second UFC fight, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. What have you guys made of Paddy? Because I can imagine he's actually from my hometown, so I've been able to meet him. We have a bit of a similar accent. But what have you made of Paddy and kind of the internet sensation that he has been?
I mean, I like him. I have no problem with him. His first fight was awesome. They were just slinging, just going at it. He has this whole big push behind him, especially from being in Cage Warriors and all that. So I'm excited to see him. And then he had the little tussle at the hotel with what's his face? I forget the other guy's name. Yeah. So it'll be good. But with that happening, I think he needs to be focused on his fight that's at hand. Focus on this week and tomorrow and all that before he starts talking crazy and getting kicked off of Twitter and Instagram again. So yeah.
What
about you, Kyle? What are your opinions on the Baddy?
Yeah, I think he's great. The Cage, I followed him when he was in Cage Warriors. So I've always known about him. I mean, he's been all over social media and everything like that. He's good. He's game. He's getting a lot of push in the UFC. He has that deal with Barstool Sports, so they're really pushing him as well. So that's a good thing that he's got going behind him as well. So obviously, the more successful he is, the more successful that everybody else is around him. But yeah, I'm excited to see him go out there and get the job done. I don't really know the guy that he's fighting. Not really sure who he is, or I didn't really see any of his fights. I probably did, but just don't recognize who he is. But I think he's gonna run through the guy. It's just a matter of time, especially being in his home, being in the home country. So
yeah. Do you guys ever? I know you mentioned there, Kyle, that you don't like flying, but I saw today that the UFC has been announced for Abu Dhabi, UFC 281. Do you guys like? Is that something that you guys want to do? Fight on the international scene, or are you guys happy in the hometown, not the hometown, but the home country?
Kyle, you want to go ahead? Because I already fought over in Abu Dhabi, so
yeah.
Oh, so you have my mistake. Apologies.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
He's fought there, so he knows what it's like. I mean, I didn't go to that fight when he was there because I was in the middle of camp. So it's just like the sacrifices you have to make and stuff. But I mean, the flight's long. I hate flying and all that stuff. I don't know how it would do with my weight cut and everything. Just as long as they fly you out there early enough, obviously it's good. From what he said, it's just very hot and rough and kind of boring because you're in a hotel all the time. But I mean, I don't know if things are opening up there now or whatnot. They're going to let fans in or whatnot, but that could potentially be a fight that I have in front of fans. So if it's a fight that I have in front of fans, then I might have to be like, all right, cool. Like I'll experience it. So I have to go through this 18-hour flight to go fight in front of fans. But I mean, I don't mind going like 6-7 hours flying, but anything over that, it's rough on me, man, especially with weight cut.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, how many fights you guys have had. And yeah, I believe there's only actually been one in a kind of sold out arena. And then there will be the Blaydes fight. I think that will make it, if we include the Holland fight, Kyle, that will be 10 fights between you guys in the UFC, and yet only one will actually be in the big arena kind of setting.
Yeah.
Kind of very crazy when you think about it. Two brothers who have only fought. A lot of people would have had, their first 5 fights pre-pandemic would have all been in the massive stadium setting. It's kind of a very crazy way to start the UFC runs.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. But it's something that I'm used to. It's something that he's used to. It's something that I like. I like fighting, in the the apex. It feels like home. But there's something special when you fight in front of a crowd. It's really crazy. It's really good. And I want him to experience that and get all those jitters out. I mean, he was there for my walk when I fought Shamil, UFC 266, and that was awesome. So I can't wait to make the walk being in a tournament. I've
just got to ask as well, boys, because I've just noticed that, Chris, you're quite synonymous with the beard, with the big long beard. Kyle, yeah. I don't think you've ever had I don't think I've ever seen you in a fight that wasn't virtually clean shaven. So yeah. Who's more likely to grow the opposite facial hair? Is it going to be Chris with a clean shave or Kyle with the Gruffalo beard?
No, I have not been able to grow a beard ever since. I think this is like 29 years of like not shaving. Like my beard I don't have a beard that comes in, but him being a cop, he shaved for like 10 years straight every single day. So, I mean, it's helped him. But when I shave my face with a razor blade, it's like I look like a child. So I try to just keep it a little stubbly, and that's about it.
Yeah, man.
Chris, how long have you been growing that for?
It's been since I left the department. So I'll say it's probably been since April, May of last year. But I mean, I get it trimmed up all the time. If I didn't get it trimmed up, it'd be down to like here on me. So yeah, I definitely keep it trimmed up.
I've got to ask as well, what was it like? Kyle mentioned there you were a police officer for 10 years. Yeah. What was it like handing your notice in and leaving that position last year?
It was awesome. It was great. I couldn't be happier. I was happy to get out of there. Some people were upset I was leaving. Some people didn't want me to leave, but other people were really excited for me. And I'm being a stay-at-home dad now and a professional fighter. There's really nothing better in the world for me. So
I just want to finish as well, boys. Obviously, we've got the fight coming up, which is of paramount importance to you guys, of course. What do you think? What do your kind of parents and family think of you guys fighting? Because I would imagine that it must be quite difficult having a family member who's a cage fighter, but you guys double up and give your parents and your family a heart attack every couple of months.
Yeah.
You want me to go?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, our parents were supportive. Mother was very supportive from the beginning. Dad was a little iffy from the very beginning. But that's kind of what comes with it. People are unfamiliar with it. They're not really sure like what it is and stuff like that. So when you tell your aunts and uncles that you fight professionally, they're kind of like confused on what's going on and confused on what it is. They kind of think it's a hobby and don't really think it's like a full-time job. But like my brother and I have seen it ever since the regional scene. It's been a full-time job for us. The whole time. Well, for me at least, the whole time. I really didn't work a job at all. So when we would see each other at family parties, they would ask if you're working or not, or you have a job, or how's life, and blah blah blah. And still fighting. And now that that we're both on TV fighting and that we're under the UFC and we're kind of building our way up and kind of building our name bigger and bigger. They're jumping on the bandwagon and kind of getting very supportive of the whole situation and that's going on. But yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
What I would like to do finally, I'd like to just touch on one thing, and we mentioned a little bit earlier. I asked you a couple of questions, Chris, about the relationship between you two, and obviously Kyle. In our earlier conversation, we talked about that. I'd like to ask each of you how kind of whatever. I'd like to ask for a sentence on the other's career, whether it be how proud you are of them, how happy, this, that, and the other. Chris, I'd like you to go first and just give me a sentence on what Kyle's accomplished in his career and what the future potentially looks like.
Kyle's accomplished a lot in his career. He's only scratching the surface, and I honestly can't wait to see him rise to the number 1, the number 2 spot in his division, and obviously take that belt from Izzy.
Kyle, what about you? What about you for Chris?
Yeah, Chris his career has been very back and forth from the very start. Ever since the amateur days, it's been very back and forth. But it's always great to see your brother succeed and see him climb the top, together, not just by himself, but knowing that, behind him, there's me and I'm number 1 behind him. So, it's always great just seeing that. And, next week he takes another step forward into the division and getting his name closer and closer to that title shot, and then eventually getting there and getting it. And I said this before, and I know people don't believe us, but I think eventually, honestly, we both will be champs. It's just a matter of time until we get there. And, I can't wait to experience that, with him.
Well, look, it's amazing to see what you guys are doing down there, especially together. It's something that I think a lot of fighters must be quite envious of, be able to have a brother to share the journey with and maybe share some of the burdens of the game. Thank you so much for your time. It was really excellent to get you on, and I can't wait for the day where I can look back on this piece of footage and you're in the immortalized MMA siblings, the Pettises or the Diazes or the Shamrocks. So it was amazing to sit down and chat. Thank you both for your time.
Thanks, man.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Before we finish, how can people Chris, I'll go to you first. How can people find you on social media and any sponsors you'd like to shout out?
Fuel Hunt, A&M Fleet Services, Performance Meal Prep, Empire Sports Management. Really appreciate everyone. And really just, Twitter and Instagram is really my main thing. I do go back and forth with people on Twitter and Instagram. So just Chris _Daukaus MMA. That's on both of them. Shoot me a message, and if I don't get back to you right away, it's because I'm answering other messages, not because I'm ignoring it. So,
Kyle, same to you. Social media and any sponsors.
Yeah, so the same sponsors that Chris said stole all the sponsors. So just go back to him, take them. But yeah, on social media, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. That's about it. I really don't like any other social media. It's just Kyle _Daukaus. Follow me there. I don't really post a lot of good stuff. I try to be funny when I can be, but yeah, give me a follow and I'll respond to any questions that you guys have or anything like that. So.